everybody. Welcome to the Gapology Guys podcast. This is your resource for everything Gapology and anything related to our full suite of books and training elements. And tonight we have a very special announcement for you, so let's go ahead and get the show rolling and jump right in. Hey Mark, how are you doing?
Good, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. I see you're all decked out in your Gapology gear. That's awesome.
Oh, I'm so excited about Gapology.
Yeah. And we have some exciting stuff to talk about tonight. I'm very excited to share with everybody. In fact, do you mind? Hang on one second. Let me grab something.
What's he doing?
Oh Lord.
What?
Okay, hold on. Let me open this up.
How could you even carry that thing?
I can barely. I need to get Jolene to help me. All right, hold on.
What is it?
I'm not sure. Oh, packing slip.
What is it?
I wish I had one of those top-down cameras that could show this. Oh. Yes.
Whoa.
The new 15th anniversary edition.
Wow. That's amazing.
I have a whole caseload here.
Wow.
Look at them all.
Wow. 15 years?
15 years. Congratulations.
You had to put up with me for 15 years?
Yeah, it's not always easy, but it's always a pleasure.
Wow, congratulations. So the book is out. I guess it's on Amazon even, huh?
Yeah, so it is available now on Amazon. So here's sort of a key. If anybody's interested in picking up the newest version, so it's a little bit thicker.
A lot thicker.
Yeah. So and I looked at just pages of content. So we've got a lot of additional pieces in there. We have an executive summary. We've got a brand new activities at a glance section in there. So we've got some additional pieces. But just content, we went from 226 pages to 300 pages.
Whoa.
Of just content.
Whoa.
So it's very exciting. So if anybody wants to order it, make sure you look for the one with the black band across the bottom that says 15th anniversary edition. That's sort of the key.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So congratulations to you. It's a long time coming. We've been working on this since, when did we start it? February?
Well, we started the update probably 15 years ago.
Well, yeah.
But started writing it, this year. So, yeah.
Yeah. The newest update. And it took a little bit of convincing. So Mark wanted to do this, maybe a couple of years ago. And I don't really want to, open up the file and go back in and make the changes. But you talked me into it.
Well, you were right in some ways because Gapology really hasn't changed.
Yeah.
The world has changed.
Ooh, that needs to be a t-shirt.
Write that down.
That's a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt or a ball cap.
Yeah.
Now think about it. Gapology is more relevant than ever.
Mm-hmm.
It really hasn't changed. The world around it has changed. And for leaders, the world has changed.
Right.
And knowledge of Gapology can... So I had a leader today of a retail organization who I worked with, you and I worked with, I think, 15 years ago or maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And they said to me that Gapology was the reason that they went from worst to first.
Mm.
They became the top performer, which has driven their career to the highest possible level. So leader of the organization. So pretty incredible statement.
Yeah, 100%. And you're right. I mean, the world has changed. And if anybody remembers back to 2020, and there's some things that happened right around then, sort of forced a lot of us to work from home, work in a sort of remote work world. And, we've had previous podcasts where we call it the Zoom world. And that did change everything.
Yeah, virtual meetings change everything as it relates to leadership.
Hmm.
You and I used to meet face to face when we met, and that would be, of significance. And it's totally different in the virtual meeting world. The great news for those that know Gapology is that Gapology has become more significant than ever, more relevant than ever, more needed than ever, and needs to, even if you've learned it, you need to take another glance because there's a number of things you can change. And that's why we had to write the 15th anniversary edition. The
Yeah.
world had changed. The post-COVID world, the virtual meeting world. Virtual meetings are a gapology waiting to happen, right?
Right. Yeah,
They
totally.
really are. We we've got a lot on that, and so we felt the need to help our top performing leaders update their leadership with an updated Gapology. So
Hmm.
you got to get it, and you'll be pleased. It will be of significance to you.
Hmm. Yeah, I think the world's changed certainly, and I think also we've changed here at Gapology. So, if you just picture 15 years ago when we first put our first book out, we were in a different place. We saw the world differently, and over that course of that 14 years, we've worked with all these different organizations over time, and we keep learning from them. All these different pieces we've taken in, and oh yeah, this and this, and some of their questions and some of their challenges sometimes we've taken in, and we've said, yeah, we need to write on that. And finally, we took the time to say, okay, so we have all this content that we've absorbed over time. Let's put it in the book. Let's add some new pieces in, revise some things, expand some things. So things like the commitment ladder. Well, how do you move people up the commitment ladder? It's just some of those kind of elements we've added in. So even if you're an avid reader of Gapology, where you've read it a couple times, this is a new experience. Go through it again. There's new content in there.
Yeah, well, when Brian and I were working on this, we were in retail, and
Yeah, yeah,
we were teaching it everywhere, virtually every day in retail stores, and we saw it work amazingly well, and were able to perform at a high level. So we knew Gapology worked in retail. We really hadn't thought beyond that. We then found out since then that it works in finance. Virtually every finance company that we've worked with has exploded from there. It works in manufacturing, which we hadn't considered and didn't know much about. It works in bottling, not whiskey,
yeah.
Brian.
I was just like, ooh,
I'm sure it would work there, but
right,
it
100%.
works in bottling and sales there. It works in transportation at a very high level. It works in real estate. It works in Christianity and religion. We should do a podcast on that.
Hmm.
It works in senior living.
Hmm.
Think about that.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
operation of senior living facilities, which is a gigantic business today.
yeah,
It works in the medical field and it works in dental. We've learned that. And that's just to start, naming off where we have had experience with it being of significant, I guess, in law firms, et cetera. So we didn't anticipate Gapology being, something that would work everywhere, but as we've come to know it, it also works in education. Sorry, I left that one off the list. But we have come to know it now to be something that is built inside of each of us. It's part of the human experience, and when you learn Gapology, you are more effective at everything. Tiffany High, who wrote the foreword to the new book, by the way, talks about how it works in getting her husband to do what she needs him to do.
yeah. That's right.
So don't forget that part of it.
Yeah, that's right.
She wrote a great foreword
Yeah,
to the new
wonderful.
book, so we
Mhm.
appreciate that.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, we've taken a little bit of a hiatus from the podcast. So I was traveling over the last few weeks and doing several Gapology sessions, some keynotes and things, and different business structures. So you named a couple. So some finance, some senior living, and I'm getting set on Thursday this week in a couple of days to do a what we call a Gapology ambassador training. So basically, we take the like their trainers, the people who really are invested in Gapology, and we do an additional piece where we train them at a different level and we walk them through how to teach Gapology. So we're doing that, and that's for a sort of a government organization. And the interesting thing, Mark, how you were laying out all those different types of businesses, and it works everywhere. It's just anytime there's a leader and a team, people involved, it works. It's sort of a interpersonal truth that really does happen anytime you have a leader and a team.
Yeah, it simply works. And so the updated version simply helps you connect with your new reality as well. Each of us have a new reality. Remote work and virtual meetings are gigantic gap creators. Would that be
Yeah.
safe to
Yep.
say?
Yep.
So those
Totally.
of you that lead a team that does remote work, lead a team that does virtual meetings, you are in a world where gaps are now bigger potentially than ever unless you lead correctly. And the failure rate of good leaders who don't understand that is of significance. So gapology has actually become bigger today than it would have been 15 years ago when we started out, and more needed today. And if you combine with that AI, where people are potentially making decisions and getting their education from something they haven't learned, that is also a gapology creator. So we thank everyone that's put together AI and the virtual workforce and the remote, meetings, because you've made gapology more relevant than we could have dreamed about. And the next decade of Gapology and the future of our 15th anniversary edition is of incredible significance. And we look forward to that. And, we are here to help. Thank you for all of the emails and phone calls. And we probably can't answer all of them, but be persistent and we will get to you. It's just you and me, right?
Just the two of us. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
the two of us. So we don't have a team of 1,000. We probably should,
Yeah.
but Gapology is literally
Mhm.
bigger than ever and more needed than ever, and gaps are bigger than ever.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about that remote work virtual meeting thing when the timing's right.
Yeah, no, no, I think you've got some great tips on that. Yeah, and in the book, we lay out a bunch of great new tips. We expand on some of the old tips and that kind of thing. So definitely pick that up if you're interested. I think just as people, we evolve, and different tools present themselves. AI to me it's just another tool. It's just another tool, just like a calculator or a
Yeah.
computer is a tool, but it's how you use it, how you understand its impact. You need to think deeper about how you're using it so that you're not creating gaps. I think that's a big thing for leaders to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. As a leader, it can create gaps.
Hmm.
It can create gaps. So the the remote work scenario and the virtual meeting scenario are ripe for gaps. And what's happening from what we see, and we've experienced this with every organization that we've been with, is that in a remote work scenario or a virtual meeting scenario, the team can potentially multitask.
Oh yeah, yeah, they totally do.
And when they multitask, while you're speaking, by the way, gaps are being created. So you've assumed as a leader that the knowledge gap is closed. Oh, yeah, they connected with everything I said. Really? They understood the importance of it. Oh, really? They'll take the actions that I'm expecting. Oh, really? You are likely incorrect. So Gapology is needed more than ever. And again, a remote work and a virtual meeting scenario. And we've come up with a couple of tactics that overcome this, but can I go through them?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So one of the tactics would be, and we write about it in the new Gapology, is random recaps. So you're conducting a virtual meeting with 20 people on the screen. Maybe they're live on the screen or not. You should have them live on the screen. But what if they knew that every 5 or 10 minutes you were going to turn it back to them and to an individual and ask for a random recap? Let me give you an example. So I'll just play like we were on a meeting, Brian. So Brian, going to pick on you for a second here. Walk us through the notes that you've taken so far in the meeting, the first 10 minutes, and what the key actions are for your team. I don't need you to answer that,
Oh, oh
but
dang.
suddenly,
Sorry, I was on Facebook. I'm sorry.
yeah, suddenly the behavior of the team changes. What if they knew you were going to do that every 10 minutes?
Hmm.
They would be taking notes and not multitasking like crazy, and Gapology would be alive and well. Gaps would be closed. Right now, you often don't know whether they're listening to you or not. You are assuming they are, and likely many of them are not. Random recaps is an incredible tool for leaders that want to get ahead of the pack and win, and it works every time. And you tell the team in advance, hey, every 10, 15 minutes during this 1 hour meeting, I'm going to turn to someone at random and ask them to review their notes thus far from the meeting, their key takeaways, their action items, and then we will discuss that as a group. That is an incredibly powerful tool that you can use to make your virtual meetings, remote workforce quite effective. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I love it. And I love the fact that you said to make sure to sort of set the stage for it. So you do it at the
Let them
beginning.
know.
Yeah, let them know.
The
Yeah,
rules have changed.
because what we don't want to do as leaders is create fear and put up a wall between leaders and the team. We want an inclusive environment where people feel valued and those kinds of things.
Yeah, so
So
one
let
of the
them,
best
let them know.
tactics, one
Yeah.
of the best tactics is for the leader initially to turn it to the top performer on the whole team, who's
Mhm.
got an incredible set of notes, and let them set the example for the group. and,
Yeah.
and then it goes from there.
Yeah.
But it can really be quite amazing. And I find myself multitasking during meetings. Do you?
Oh, I totally do.
So picture
Yeah.
leaders, picture if your team who's remote is multitasking while you're talking about a significant topic.
Yeah.
This is not good. This
Right.
is called the need for gapology.
Yeah.
And you can overcome that again with random recaps.
Hmm.
It really works quite well.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't
We
want to
do
go
have a
on
new
and on
section in the
about this,
book.
but it is key. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and we do have a new little subchapter section in there on random recaps that we talk
Yeah.
about in the new book. So and this is just a great example of some of these new things that we've sort of uncovered after working with different leaders over the years that we share in the book. The other thing I think along with that, Mark, is using our sort of communication framework that we talk about in Gapology when you're building your meetings, because you can sort of create this environment where people just feel that they can multitask. When you have meetings that sort of drone on and you repeat things or you're just talking about nonsense, or you're talking about things that really don't matter as much, So when you're looking at your meeting structure, in the book we do provide some great tips on creating meeting structure. But think about just your communication method. Tell them what they need to know, tell them why it matters, and tell them what they need to do. Those three elements, and you keep it succinct so that people they don't start to just kind of wander off and start to multitask. So there's lots of different things that you can do to sort of set the stage for success there.
Well, let's repeat that again. So if you, leaders, if you simply learn to do these three things that Brian just referenced very effectively, you win big. So the leader ensures that the team knows what they need to know. So the leader is clear that they know what they need to know. There's no knowledge gaps. They then are clear as to why it matters. That's a big deal. That's the importance gap. So now the knowledge and importance gap are closed. And then that leader knows that they know what they need to do, the actions that need to be taken. That is Gapology. That is KINA. And I don't own a Kia, but I probably should own, they should probably be paying me royalties. But
Yeah, they should.
KINA is Gapology. And when a leader can understand that the KINA are closed with their team, they tend to win big. That's that leader saying, I went from worst to first with Gapology. That's where it's at. It's right there. And you got to be able to deliver that often today in a remote work environment, potentially, and a virtual meeting environment. And Gapology is right there to support you. And it has the tools, to get you there. Um, we we spent a lot of time thinking about how to help you. And to Brian's point, we learned a great deal from you. So we spent hundreds to thousands of hours with other organizations teaching Gapology and listening and learning in the meetings you were in, and then learning from the top performance that came from that. And we incorporated that into the book. So we learned from an organization, as an example, how they became number one in the industry, their industry. That those tactics are right there for you in Gapology in the 15th anniversary edition. We don't reference company names. We don't reference, the specifics of that, but Gapology simply works everywhere, and it is more needed than ever.
Hmm. Yep, yep, for sure. Yeah, so if anybody has questions on the new book, let us know. Especially if you've read the original or any of the revisions that we've done already. We've already done 3 other revisions, so this is the latest and definitely the greatest. This is a complete sort of revision that we've done. We've touched every paragraph, I think, in the book. So let us know what you think. We would love to hear that. If anybody has questions on this, let us know. But
let me give one other item that came up. So
okay.
in the original Gapology, one of the key tactics that we taught was the habit ladder. If you as a leader, listening to this podcast today, do not fully understand and implement the habit ladder, understand that it has changed industries. It is of great significance. It's in Gapology. We developed it, and we had, I don't know how much volume some of these companies do, 100 billion maybe? Companies doing 100 billion in annual revenue, somewhere in that range, made the habit ladder their key focus for a time frame to overcome that. It works. It causes industry leading performance. It's part of Gapology. We updated a bit with the new version, but it is pretty incredible. So if you're not using the habit ladder and don't know it and don't use it daily as, like the back of your hand, it's something you do need to know. And it will help your performance beyond your expectations.
Mhm.
So think about that. And we had no anticipation that Gapology would be as incredible as it was. We really did it for ourselves. We did it to become dominant in an industry and within an organization, and that certainly worked for us. But it can really propel you to a level that maybe you haven't even thought of.
Mhm.
Any thoughts,
Yeah.
Brian?
No, specifically about the habit ladder in the book, we presented in the training route solution. So it's a process that you can follow to ensure that your training is effective. But it really goes beyond that, way, way, way beyond that. In fact, we ended up rolling it into some of the other elements in our book because it does fit everywhere. You look at your meeting structure, follow the habit ladder. You look at your communication, follow the habit ladder. There's a lot of different elements just within any sort of leader's life that if you're ever questioning the effectiveness of what you're doing, follow the habit ladder. It works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works every time. It
Yep.
is it is now the foundation of training and organizational development in many organizations.
Hmm.
They Everything has to comply with the habit ladder,
Yep.
and it simply works. So, and it will
Yeah.
help you also overcome the remote work and virtual meeting environment.
Yeah.
But random recaps are your best friend.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, Mark, I'm not even sure you know this, but we have a consultant that does a little bit of work with us. She's based out of Trinidad and Tobago. Jerusha Kantasing is her name.
okay.
And she reached out because of the habit ladder. She heard one of our podcasts on it or something, and she said, "This will work in the dentistry industry where I live." And I'm like, "Okay,
Wow.
let's hop on a call." And we walk through it. And now that's part of her whole curriculum that she teaches there.
Yeah. I mean, I can't explain how we stumbled upon things that work everywhere,
Yeah.
but they work
Mhm.
everywhere. When we were first approached to, bring Gapology to Christianity in Africa, Brian and I were saying, what? What,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
that? How would that work?
Right.
And we just were naive to our own process.
Hmm.
It worked incredibly well. And so it literally works everywhere. It'll work with the kids, the family, maybe the in-laws. What do you think?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Um, it will work for you, and we're here to help if you need our help. Thank you for all the. I apologize for not being able to return all the emails every week. I I get a lot of requests for work, and Brian and I are still really doing this on our own. And we thank Tiffany High, by the way, for doing the forward on the book. So she's got an incredible organization in Ohio that teaches how to remodel and flip houses, and they're big Gapology fans. We appreciate her work, and so keep reaching out for us, and we will be there for you. And we're continuing to add people to our team. And the dentistry scenario you mentioned in Trinidad and Tobago, um, Jerusha.
Right.
So she's teaching it there, and we have partners that are teaching it in Australia and
Yeah. Matt.
throughout the world.
Yeah.
And the main thing is that you as a leader need to know it right away. So get the book, and let's talk further if you need any other advice.
Yeah. Sounds perfect. Just head on over to gapology.org and you'll get all the information there. We've got links there for the new version and so forth. But otherwise, LinkedIn's usually a great place to reach out to either Mark or me. Love to hear from you there. Otherwise, emails at contact@gapology.org. That's contact@gapology.org. That's our email, and we'll answer and reply back. But otherwise, we do thank everybody for the last 15 years. And I thank you, Mark, for
Been amazing.
involving me. Yeah.
Been amazing. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Everybody have a great week. We'll talk to you later. All right, that'll do it from here. For more information on Gapology, the 15th anniversary edition, or any of our other books or resources, head on over to our website, gapology.org. Everyone have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you soon.